Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at an article from The Guardian. Now, this was published on May 10th, written by Richard Orange, who was in Copenhagen. I don't know why we need to know that, and Pamela Duncan. The reason why I chose this article is because they can't understand how in Denmark, where they try to claim all these bullshit inequalities with, women, where they claim that these bullshit inequalities are like basically non-existent. Why aren't these women feminists? And they can't understand it. They're like, why? They should be. That would explain why all this stuff is the case here. But they aren't. And it throws them for a loop. They don't like it, I don't think, either. It's weird. It's like, well, they just should be kind of a mentality, I think. At least the least feminist nation in the world is Denmark? See, they're like, what? I mean, even in the title, they make that clear. A poll of more than 25,000 people in 23 major countries found that just 1 in 6 Danes consider themselves a feminist. Ooh, ouch. That's really going to hurt my feminism. It is one of the best places in the world to be a woman, with a narrow gender pay gap. The pay gap that was basically proven complete bullshit and debunked, where women choose different careers that are lower paying, usually, for the most part, usually, and they don't work as many hours as men, daily, weekly, or over a lifetime. So yeah, that's what created that gender pay gap. They fumbled with the numbers and didn't look at those things. Equal employment rights. Pretty much every country in the West has them, but okay. Universal nursery care. I don't understand how, my feminists, when they want to murder babies, think that that's a thing to be even worrying about, or not have them. And some of the happiest female retirees on the planet. Yes, because they weren't forced into the feminism bullshit, you got to do this type indoctrination. So it comes to a surprise to find in a global survey of attitudes towards gender, equal rights, and the Me Too movement that Denmark is one of the least feminist countries in the developed world. Yeah. They are, how do I put this? They're anti-Me Too. They don't buy into the feminism equal rights bullshit, or the feminism males, are evil. And yeah, they don't like this. The poll conducted by the YouGov Cambridge Globalism Project of more than 25,000 people in 23 major countries found that just 1 in 6 Danes considered themselves a feminist. A third said that wolf whistling at women in the street was acceptable, and 2 in 5 had an unfavorable view of the Me Too movement. I love this. Anything that's got globalism in the name is never a good thing. They were hoping to find a completely different situation. And when they found this, the left press, they got to go on attack, and say, well, what the hell? My feminism, this doesn't make any sense. They don't realize that the feminism causes actually more problems and leads to more inequality, which is why we now see women as a privileged, protected class in the West, especially, say, in countries like the United States, for example. Just saying. I mean, that's why you saw the Title IX bullshit, because of the Obama administration with their protected class. No due process, no nothing. You get people just being falsely accused of, guys being falsely accused of rape and having their lives ruined. Like Mattress Girl with her bullshit, because the guy wouldn't let her suck his dick. And she got pissed. I mean, come on now. And this idea of 1 in 6 Danes consider themselves a feminist, that must really get to them. And that a third of these people said, wolf whistling's fine. I mean, those things must, because those are two things. You got to be a feminist and say wolf whistling is bad. And those two, and it's got to be 100% on both. And they're like, yeah, fuck you. And this idea that 2 and 5 had an unfavorable view of the Me Too movement they don't like because they want these women's accusations to be just accepted, unless they're made against, say, Bill Clinton, for example. But I mean, you look at this, just 1 in 6 teens, okay, find themselves a feminist, but you look at the, you get Denmark here. Germany's even lower for who they consider themselves a feminist. Mexico is tied. The U.S. is a bit above. Then you get into Australia, which is kind of tied. Then Britain even higher. Then Italy, which I'm surprised. France doesn't surprise me. Sweden, the home of the mega feminist. It looks like it's from fucking Power Rangers, the mecha feminist. Actually, no. It's like Mecha Streisand. The mecha feminist is like Mecha Streisand from South Park. That's better. That says a lot more. I mean, you look. Sweden, king of the queen of feminism land. It is a difficult question. What is a modern feminist? Muses Helen Frost Hansen, a 37-year-old accountant, as she bites into her sandwich outside her office on Copenhagen's City Hall Square. I don't want to be equal in all senses. Oh my God, women might actually have some traditional views. Huh. It depends on what you mean. I'm just ordinary, says Charlotte Venvik, a 55-year-old taking her break from the bank where she works. I'm not marching in the streets. Yeah, and they don't like this. They want women to act like this. Around the world, the feminism, Kool-Aid, you gotta be a feminist. And these women aren't, and it really pisses them off. They're egalitarians from the sound of things, with one saying, well, I don't want to be equal. And I can understand that. She's kind of, from what it sounds like, maybe a little traditional. According to the data, only a quarter of Danish women consider themselves feminist. A stark contrast to neighboring Sweden, where 46% do, and a smaller share even than in countries like Italy, Spain, and the UK, which otherwise lag far behind Denmark on gender equality. Bullshit. They are, oh my God, you are talking about countries in the Western world where women have the same exact equality of opportunity. So get bent, go fuck yourself, and I would put money that Richard, let's see if we got a picture of him, is a soy boy beta fucking cuck. Are there any pictures of Richard? No? Well, all right, let's do this then. Richard Orange. I just want to see if he's a soy boy bitch. Richard. Orange. Let's see. This looks like it could be him. Richard Orange. British hack, marooned in Sweden. Yeah. Look at it. Fucking bearded soy boy beta cuck bitch who purposely chose this newspaper. At least I think it's him. Let's see. Richard Orange, Guardian. Yeah. Looks like it is that soy boy bitch. Oh, dude. Are you chemically castrating yourself with Depro? Depro? Oh my God, you fucking cuck. Dude, shut the fuck up. You fucking cuck. Oh my God. Oh God, those are Western countries where equality is there. Just shut the fuck up, cuck. Even Denmark's equality minister, Karen Ellemann, declared that she didn't consider herself one when she took up the post 3 years ago. Oh no! A feminist in a position about equality that's going to actually be egalitarian. Can't have that. Of a dozen women approached in the Danish capital, only one had time for the F word. Yes, and I have 3 daughters and raised them all as feminists. Oh my God, you found one woman. That must have really hurt your feelings. It was only one of them. So anyway, raised them all feminists, says Charlotte Matheson. The man has to do exactly the same job as the women. Oh, so she's an egalitarian, you dumb fuck. And you're going to go, well, she's a feminist. No, just correct what she said. She's an egalitarian. In fact, more Danish women are happy to be wolf whistled than called a feminist, according to the survey. That's pretty bad when they would rather hear than be called a feminist. And I apologize for your ears on that one. I should have gave a warning. Fully 1/3 say it is acceptable. The highest proportion than in any country other than Nigeria. Oh my God, the Nigerians, they're all good. They're good with it. That's funny. Or better. I don't mind it so long as it's done in a nice way, says Hansen. I see it as a compliment, actually, she says. A lot of Danish women say that they would like men to be more like in Southern Europe and tell you how nice you look. Yeah, well, you still seem to take it as a compliment, but okay. You're going to still bitch about it. Typical woman. Riek Andreasen, professor of communication studies at Roskilde University, argues that one reason Danes tolerate low-level sexual harassment is the belief that what is meant well should be excused. Oh my God, it's not sexual fucking harassment. That would be like going up and saying, you look very nice today. I find you very attractive, or something like that. That is not fucking sexual harassment. Okay. Who's this? Riek Andreasen. Shut the fuck up, dude. I'm assuming with a name like Riek, you're a fucking dude. Shut up. You don't know. You're a soy boy beta cuck, I'm guessing, from this one. All right. It's not sexual harassment. Okay. That would be like saying hello to someone. So now, by your logic, through extension, okay, if a guy goes up to a woman and says, or walks past her and says hello, or if he smiles, it's sexual harassment. Oh my God, this dude is a dipshit. He truly is a dipshit. We have had a culture where what you say isn't racist or sexist if you don't intend it to be, she explains. Yes, because guess what? If it's not intended to be racist or sexist, okay, it isn't, because you need intent for it to be something like that. And I love how you try to conflate violating someone's person with saying something in your next sentence, you honest. Oh, she's a she. So Riek is a woman. Okay, that explains even more. So she's a feminist. She's the typical cultural Marxist, leftist, third wave feminist in a fucking field where the only way she would have a job is because of academia. Got it. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, but so anyway, she goes and she says this, conflating the idea of a wolf whistle or saying something to someone. You can grab a woman, but so long as you did it because it is fun, then culturally we tend to think it is not bad. Well, excuse me. If you violate their person and they are nothing to you, regardless of gender, that is wrong. All right? Yeah. So get bent for trying to conflate that with saying something to someone or wolf whistling. You sleazy, dishonest, feminist bitch. I'm sorry, but yeah, this article got me reading some of these things like from this one. I missed the she thing earlier when I read it, but yeah. Yeah, when I read it the first time, I was like, oh, wow. Some of the shit in this is just bad. And this one, this dumb bitch, she kind of did irk me a little bit with what she said. Because she's too stupid to realize that what comes out of her mouth is lacking in any thought or intellectual development of the concept for it to actually have merit. Because she's just talking my feminism, you know, she's doing ideology. She's not speaking from fact. And she's willing to do conflation to get away with it. I mean, that was what kind of set me off first time I read it. This may be part of the reason the debate triggered by the Me Too movement has played out so differently in Denmark than it has across the Öresund Straits in Sweden. So they don't like the fact that Me Too hasn't allowed for men to just be crucified in Denmark. Only 4% of men and 8% of women in Denmark questioned in the survey said that they had a very favorable impression of the Me Too movement, compared to 16% and 34% in Sweden and 19% and 24% across all countries in the survey. And you look at the chart here, almost 2 in 5 Danes disapprove of the Me Too movement. 35% of them do. See, they don't want you to see the actual number. So they try to play it by, 2/5 as opposed to 35%. Because 35% is more than a third of the country. And they don't like it when those numbers look like that. See, US, we're over 30%. Yeah. France, because, we're talking about a country, mind you, and they don't want to admit this. France, they think that Roman Polanski did nothing wrong. That should say a lot. Australia, they're kind of femicucked. Germany, I'm surprised with how low the feminism level is, but 20%. Britain, less than that. Sarah Phil, 32, who is out walking her baby on the nearby Kulturvet Square, worries that Me Too will make men feel constrained in their relationships with women. I think some men are afraid of talking to women at work in case they get accused of something. Yes, exactly. Because these days, if you smile at a woman, if you say hi to a woman, if you wave to a woman, if you do anything like that with the feminism Kool-Aid drinking psycho bitches out there, you could end up someone wrapped up in the Me Too movement. Just saying. But the Me Too movement they want to portray as a good thing. And recent research on the Me Too movement has found that while in Sweden, the media treated it as a political issue, in Denmark, it was covered in the cultural and opinion sections of the newspaper, with very few men outed. Because it was not... See, they try to make Me Too political. And they're like, because it wasn't on a political aspect, all these people didn't, end up having their lives ruined, because it was put in the context that it should have been put in from the beginning. Okay. It was covered in the culture and opinion sections because it was culture and opinion. You're making baseless accusations with no proof. Okay. Just saying, well, he did it. And you expect, without any proof to back it up. Because in most cases they go, well, I don't got any proof. And you just expect them to be taken at their word and have someone's life ruined in the process. All right. And you made it political because you tried to use it against political enemies. In Denmark, they didn't choose to do that because you don't have, from what it looks like, this leftist, far left, feminism, third wave, feminism, cultural Marxist crap going on, at least not to a large extent. So it wasn't made political. And it rightfully went where it was, in the culture section, because it was about the culture. It was about opinion, because you're talking about what is a cultural thing, not a political thing. And I love this. Almost a third of Danes consider wolf whistling acceptable. Yeah, over 30%. Germany's not far behind at 20-something. Britain, 25%. Australia, 25%. Sweden, my feminism Sweden, about 23%. The U.S., where my feminism is like major Kool-Aid cult, levels of bullshit, less than 20%. And not that long ago, 10, 20 years ago, you could actually do that. And it wasn't offensive. And women didn't find it offensive. I mean, hell, you could probably do it 5 years ago and women might not have necessarily found it offensive. Now, oh, heaven forbid. A lot of people have been writing about whether it is really true that women are being harassed or that women are being too sensitive, she says. And they focused a lot on what... I'm sorry. This... Riki, or whatever her name is. What is her name again? Riki. Whatever it is. Like. Third wave feminist like. Here, anyway. Yeah, third wave feminist leak. Like. Oh, let's see what she had to say here. Sorry. A lot of people have been writing about whether it is really true that women are being harassed or that women are being too sensitive, she says. And they've focused a lot on what would happen to a man who has been falsely accused. Rightfully so, you feminist Nazi bitch. Holy shit. You dumb, ideologically drunk, brainwashed bitch. Of course they're going to focus on what would happen to a man who's been falsely accused. Because for the most part, in Western law, United States, definitely means it's not necessarily the case with, some Western European nations. I mean, it's supposed to be, but, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. And as part of that, you should look at the consequences of what happens if someone is falsely accused of a crime or a vile act or anything like that. Just falsely accused of something. And you don't like that because if you actually look at the fact of what could happen to someone if they're falsely accused, if a man was falsely accused of something, then maybe you're going to actually have less ability for people to just outright believe in, these accusations being made. They're going to want to see some proof, and you're not going to see guys' lives get ruined on the whim of a feminazi. Sorry to break your heart on that one, but that's how it should be. So deal with it. She suspects the resistance to seeing harassment as a problem might also reflect the way politicians in Denmark have argued abuse of women is only an issue among the country's Muslims. Because it is. Holy fucking shit. All right. Abuse. Like domestic abuse, other abuses of women, rape, violence, just all those type of things. Like crimes against women were almost non-existent in Denmark until they fucking let the friggin' supposed refugees, the people coming to collect free shit in the EU, before they let them in, they didn't have a fucking problem. Oh my God. So you want to seriously try to pin that shit on your native population that before the Muslims showed up, before these people from North Africa and the Middle East showed up at your fucking doorstep, all right, before then, they never caused any problems, but now those people show up. It ain't their fault. It's these people's fault. Fuck you, you dumb bitch. Oh my God, you sleazy, disgusting, vile bitch. Instead of calling a spade, you want to try to blame your own native population for what's going on in your fucking country? Holy fucking shit. When it's not their fault, you are a vile, disgusting person. When you would literally ignore previous recorded data that says there was not a problem prior to these people coming into your country to try to say, oh, well, they're just trying to say it's these people. Well, it is. Deal with it. It's the facts. I know the truth hurts. Just deal. But there's another reason that you probably shouldn't quote me on, she laughs. Maybe my country is just really misogynist. No, bitch. Your country is not misogynist. You have women having the same opportunities and protections under, as men, and the same protections as them under the law. You have all the rights that men have. That doesn't mean that it's misogynist. It means that you're a whacked out feminist bitch who would not have a job except maybe as a coffee barista. All right. If it wasn't for academia with their leftist sociological bullshit, like identity politics, like identity studies, like, African American studies and women's studies and this studies. If you did white studies, oh, that's racist. But you can do every other ethnicity under the sun. Yeah. Anyway, this bitch don't want to admit that, the problem wasn't there until they let a particular group in their country. And she's trying to say her country's misogynist. I mean, it just goes to show that they have to end with this bitch. That's how desperate they are. They try to focus on this one to try to back their shit up. Oh, well, we'll appeal to her authority because she's a feminist in academia in Denmark. It's like, no, that's not how it works. Anyway, yeah. I've covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here because, you know what? What else can I say? I just got to say, this is sweet, you know? And what gets me is you look at these women. Hot, blonde, you know? Definitely cute here on the right. The middle, you know, she's probably in her 40s, kind of cute. I mean, she's kind of homely, but, I mean, she's better looking than a feminist. Oh, wait. Oh, wait a minute. So wait a minute. Matt Middle with Julie Nygaard right and Ricky Postwolf is in the minority. So Charlotte Matheson Middle. Okay. So that was the non-feminist. Julie Nygaard on the right, non-feminist, attractive. Then Ricky Kvist Wolf is in the minority of Danish women who consider themselves a feminist. Wait a minute. She didn't consider herself a feminist, really. Was it? Hold on. She didn't say she was a feminist. Holy shit. Right? No, that's a different one. That's a different Charlotte. Oh. Yeah, but she didn't even say that. She says she's a feminist. She doesn't even know what she is. Because she's an egalitarian. Which is probably why she's actually attractive. Julie Nygaard. Which one was she? That's Hanson. Where the hell was she? Was she earlier in the article? Anyway, you can tell which one's the feminist, more feminazi feminist. The one on the left. Out of the ones that call themselves feminist, all right, this is how I would rank it. Least feminist, middle of the road between her and this one's the mecha feminist of Denmark, or one of them, or out of the group, she'd be the mecha feminist. With how homely she looks, she probably is. And I'm sorry to base it on looks, but it's funny. Yeah, anyway, like I said, I covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.